Well, hello, hello, hello. Here we are, Monday evening again. What a beautiful day we had today. I trust that you're having a great time as well today. I'm your show host, Maxine Pearl Phillips McCoy, and I'm here to talk about levelless and life strategies. That's correct, life strategies. But first of all, let's talk about what levelless is. Levelless is a shift in the mindset. It's a think, remove the levels so that you are succeeding on your own at all times. It's a continual thing. Yes, it is a new movement. Yes, it is a what we call it. You have to shift your mind. You have to think differently. And when you remove the levels, listen, you're no longer competing with yourself, and you definitely do not have to compete with others. And you don't have to worry about trying to up level or climb the corporate ladder, but instead, you put a strategy in place, you take actions, and you continue to succeed. That's what levelless is all about. But tonight we're going to be talking about life strategies. We have two phenomenal guests with us this evening. And our first guest is Pretty. Oh my gracious. If I can describe her in one word, I would say meditation. She calms you. She helps you to understand how you are going to breathe and breathe properly. As babies, we did that. But as an adult, we get a chance to start doing things totally different. But she's going to recenter us and she's going to help us to understand why it is so important to breathe properly and to meditate. So she is with the art of living. Oh my gracious, I can't wait to hear all the phenomenal strategies she's going to share with us this evening. So why don't we welcome Pretty on the stage so she can share us talk about breathing and talking about meditation. Bring her on in. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
Hi, Maxine. How
It's
are
coming
you?
up. It's coming up. We have to let technology do what technology does and listen, give it there she is. Hello, hello, hello.
Maxine, good to see you.
It's so good to see you and thank you for being my special guest.
Thank you for having me over.
Well, listen, I am ready to understand how to breathe properly
Mm-hmm.
because I understand the importance of having that oxygen travel through the body like it needs to, and definitely take that moment of meditation. I'm always talking about me time, and me time, I always encourage meditation. So, why don't you share with us how did you get into this meditation, becoming this subject matter expert on breathing?
Very interesting. Thank you for allowing me to share. So many years ago, a couple of decades ago, when I was going through difficult situations in my life, whether it be health challenges, job challenges, and many others, uh, I did the breathing, the Sky Breath meditation program by the Art of Living Foundation. It's a breathing technique. At first, I thought, well, but it's a breathing technique. How can it help? But it completely transformed my life. I was feeling emotionally high. I could feel the peace within. I felt better physically. It was very healing for me. I
Hmm.
could feel the stress level getting reduced, better connection with myself and with other people, with coworkers, and my whole life was transformed. So that's how the journey started. And I wanted to give back to the community because it had helped me so much and had transformed my life in every area. It was like a magic pill. It was no short of a miracle for me personally. It was just a simple rhythmic breathing technique, but it was huge for me at that time. And so I completed their teachers training program, and I've been associated with the foundation for 18 years now. And I've been
Hmm.
teaching the programs, the breath work and the meditation programs for over 13 years.
Wow, 13 years. And I
Yes,
love that you said it gave you that sense of peace and that transformation because, Level is about transformation. It's about transforming generations and leaving legacies. And when you help us to learn how to breathe properly and then the meditation and how it can soothe us and reduce stress, then you're leaving legacies as well because you taught us a technique. So talk,
absolutely.
talk to us a little bit more about breathing.
Yes. Good question. Of course, breath gives us life, but it gives us much more than that. How to live our life, how to be the best version of ourselves. So, breath and emotions are very closely linked. Okay. So, if you notice when you're angry or stressed or in a panic mode, how do you breathe? It is so shallow, right?
Exactly.
Or from
Exactly.
our parents and grandparents, breathe, take a deep breath, take a few deep breaths, right? So breath has that impact on us. And if you look at regular life situations, let's say when people are stuck in traffic, sometimes they can get angry, they get upset, or some people are just calm in the very same situation. Now, those who get angry or upset, are they getting angry or upset because of the traffic? No, because if that was the case, then every single person sitting in traffic and every single time will get upset and angry. But that is not the case, right? So obviously, it has to do something within us that is simply getting triggered by the outside. So, how do we keep ourselves calm and peaceful and centered from within so that we don't get thrown off of our center? We are able to better manage the challenges in our life, better able to manage our emotions like anger, fear, worries, frustration. So, breath is the key.
Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah, so,
So,
go
so,
ahead.
so, what are some of the techniques we need to take into consideration when we find ourselves getting that anxiety or in a crisis situation to help us calm ourselves down? Because your heart start racing, you feel like your brain is in overload, you feel like sometimes you break out in a cold sweat. So, what are some of the things that we can do for ourselves to help ourselves?
Why don't we do some techniques right now? Are you up for it?
Hey, that sounds good to me. You know me.
Okay, great.
I'm a visual learner, so let's do this.
Let's do this practical. So we'll do something very simple. It's called the straw breath. So we're going to inhale through the nose normally, a deep inhale. And as we exhale, imagine that you're holding a straw in your mouth and you're
Uh-huh.
exhaling through the mouth through that imaginary straw.
Okay, viewing audience, I want you all to do this with us because this
So,
helps us to recenter ourselves even this evening as we're talking. So, shall we do that again?
yes, yes, we will do that again. And exhale fully, completely, even if it's slow. So let's do it again. So let's take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth as if you're breathing out through the imaginary straw.
That feels good.
And this time, let's close our eyes and let's do it two more times. Take
Okay.
a deep breath in and breathe out, exhaling through the mouth, through the imaginary straw. One last time at your own pace.
Wow, that feels real good.
It was barely a minute of breath work that we did.
Mm-hmm.
And you can already see the difference, right? From the
Right.
state you walked in here was different than what you're experiencing right now.
I when I first started this about 2.5, 3 years ago, I was doing the breathing to recenter everyone as they came online because we have a hustle and bustle in life. We're rushing to get home, we're rushing to do this, rushing to do that. And it even helped calm me down because when you start a show, you want to recenter yourself. You're present. I call it being present. So I love this. I'm gonna make sure I get back into doing this because it recenters everything. It refocuses us. So excellent.
Absolutely. So
So
this
what
technique,
let me ask you another question. So what strategy when we start using this breathing technique, how do we just, incorporate this into our daily lives?
So, does everyone want to be centered in their life? Yes. Do they want to have clarity in their mind? Do they want to have more focus, concentration, inner peace, happiness and joy, which does not depend on external situations? Then yes, so there is this sky breath meditation, which is evidence-based breathing technique. It's a rhythmic breathing technique, and it helps reduce stress, reduce depression, anxiety. People are able to sleep better, find that peace within right from the first session itself, a more focused concentration, and it allows you to be the best version of yourself. And you can incorporate that by learning just 3 sessions, and you have your take home technique that you can practice every day just for a few minutes. And that is available for all age groups, children, school children, youth, teens, university students, adults, healthcare professionals, veterans, everybody, all age groups.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're sharing is the fact that the techniques that you've just shown us, it can apply to anyone. We know infants, they breathe automatically the right way. We lose that sight of how to breathe properly through the diaphragm as we become older, because then we start doing the shadow breathing. So I love the fact that you said it could be for the young, you to teach the young as they possibly can be how to breathe, continue to breathe properly, and especially our teenagers, because there's so much out here in the world that they're up against. And then we as adults, we come in contact with all the stress, the day-to-day life. Life happens. And when we find ourselves in that stressful situation, I know I talk about journaling, but in journaling, you can also incorporate breathing, having that breathing time. I love that. I love that. So listen, viewing audience, be sure that you're writing these nuggets down. Remember, we don't just drop golden nuggets. We drop platinum nuggets here on the Level Less Show. So make sure you incorporate the breathing technique into your daily routine and when you're stressful, right?
Yes. And so what we just experienced is literally just the tip of the iceberg. It's a very simple breathing technique. This wasn't the sky breathing technique because it needs to be learned in multiple sessions. But there are other techniques. And, I would like to give our audience a surprise and lead another technique. It's called, how, if somebody is smoking and if they want to quit smoking, what do they do? So this is the breathing technique that they can do. I'm sure
Okay.
everyone would like to know that.
Of
Uh,
course. Anything we can do to help our viewing audience.
yes. So, when people smoke, what is giving them the relaxation and the pleasure? It's not really the smoke, it's the pattern of the breathing that they're doing when they're actually smoking. Yeah? So, imagine you're smoking. Breathe out, take your lower lip out, look up. Let's do that again. As if you're smoking, you have a cigarette in your hand. This is imaginary. You don't have the real one. Okay.
Right. And we're not encouraging it either. So, disclaimer out there. We're not encouraging you to smoke.
Yes.
We're just saying if you are, here's another breathing technique that you can use.
Yes.
All right.
So let's all do it together for just a few breaths. If you're breathing in, as you breathe out, take your lower lip out, look up, and breathe out as if the breath is going up. Smoke is going up, imagine. And you can do it just 2 more times on your own. Breathe in. And relax. if you do this a few times, you will notice you won't get you won't get the urge to smoke, or you will feel better. The feeling that you get after smoking is the feeling that you are getting right now because of the breathing pattern.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So when we find ourselves in that stressful situation, that's one technique as far as breathing. Then the other technique is the one that you showed us initially as well. That can also help calm the body down, help calm the heart down. The heart rate can drop into a regular heart rhythm, with that technique. Is that correct? Is
So
that a
this
correct
one, the
statement?
second one,
Or
the first one, yes, it will help you reduce stress, reduce blood pressure. The second one
okay.
is if somebody needs to reduce or quit smoking, then they can do the second one. It calms them
All right.
down. Yes.
So I heard you say that, the breathing, the other part is it takes time. It takes sessions to go through so that you can learn the proper breathing technique. So we switch
Mhm.
gears so we don't run out of time. What about the meditation piece? Talk us through some strategies as far as meditation is concerned.
So sky breath meditation, as the name indicates, it's actually a breathing technique that can lead you into meditation. So,
Okay.
you might have heard from people that, oh, whenever I sit for meditation, there are so many thoughts and I'm not able to meditate, right?
Right.
So when they actually experience the sky breath meditation technique, the mind becomes so calm and it's conducive for meditation, where you are
Okay.
able to go deeper into yourself and meditate. Meditation becomes effortless.
Okay. And I always encourage them to find that quiet time to make an appointment with themselves on their telephone, or because we make an appointment with everyone else. So why not make an appointment with yourself so that you can have time to meditate if it's nothing but 5, 10, 15 minutes in a day, so that you can refocus, recenter, and also do the breathing.
That is correct. If you look at the issues today, there's so much stress, there's negativity, there's violence. People are feeling lonely, depressed, isolated. That is because they're not able to handle their emotions well. There's anger, there's frustration. They don't know what to do with it, whether they are youth or adults, because they don't know how to handle their emotions. They find different ways to manage it, like drugs, like alcohol, and other ways, perhaps aggression. So when they do the breathing technique, it really helps calm them down, manage their emotions well, manage their anger, frustration well. It brings so much positivity in us.
Hmm.
And once you are peaceful, then you don't want to get into a negativity, negative things like drugs
Right.
and alcohol or fights. So it helps everybody, all age groups, whether they are youth or adults.
Right. We just, talk about mental health quite often. And so talk to me a little bit about how this breathing technique helps with the mind, the body, and the soul in a sense.
So breath, mind, body, they're all connected, right? We are made up of all that. So, as the example that we walked through before, how our emotions are impacting our breath. When we're
Hmm.
angry, our breath is shallow. When we're happy and peaceful, our breath is so subtle. So, fortunately, it's a two-way street. And by learning to work with the breath, we are better able to manage our emotions, our stress, and mental health. What is mental health? Mental cleansing. There are so many things going on in our mind. We're not able to focus. There's so many things for us to do, less time to do. Mind is fully occupied with situations, regrets from the past, worries and anxiety about the future. How do you manage the mind? So breath is the simplest way to manage our mind and bring
Hmm.
it to the present moment. So we have all heard about this live in the present, and you mentioned today that being present. How do we come back to the present moment? So the breathing technique gives everyone the tools and practical tools and technique, what you can do every day, how to work with your breath every day to cleanse your mind, bring it to the present moment.
Wow.
It's just like, it's just like dental hygiene. We brush for dental hygiene, we shower for physical hygiene. We're doing breath work and meditation for mental hygiene.
So, how often do you suggest that they do this in a day's time? Because I'm all about daily activities as much as possible in order to refocus or to recenter ourselves.
Every day. We brush every day, we shower every day, we cleanse our mind every day. And that's the good thing about the sky breath meditation is there is a daily practice that you can take advantage of and feel great every single day. And I have been doing that for the last 20 years. And that is one of the life strategies that I have used for myself to succeed in every area of my life, whether it be work, whether it be the service activity that I'm doing, relationships. And it has helped in every area, because
Mhm.
once your mind is calm, once you have clarity, once you're calm, and calmness in the mind is a huge strength, then you're able to make better decisions. You have that pleasantness, people want to be around you. Once you have clarity in the mind, it reflects in your communication, and it affects everything, our workplace, people, situations, and that's what allows you to succeed in life as well.
Exactly. I love that. I love that. Especially when you're talking about the workplace and the clarity. Because with me working with students, you're talking about career coaching and we're talking about creating a career path and a profession. And many times when they do the assessment, it helps me to understand how do they think? Are they a long-term thinker, short-term thinker? Are they a big picture? Or are they detailed? And many times, how do you make those decisions? How do you solve problems? And those solving problems is where you can use the breathing technique, because some people can deal with crisis situations and other people like, no, 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 I want something structured. So
Yes.
I can see that breathing technique. I love the fact that you said not only is work well for everyone, but I like to focus in on the teenagers right now, or our youth right now, because they adults sometimes have experiences and they go through those experiences, but our young adults, they're beginning to go through experiences. So talk to me a little bit about how can we as parents help our young adults to cope with some of these experiences that they're going through the breathing technique. How do we help them to calm down through the breathing techniques?
Yes, it is much needed, and thank you for asking that question. It is the need of the hour to help our younger generation and give them tools and techniques to better manage their mind. S- uh, because they don't know, they get stressed, they get confused about the decisions that they need to make about their career or about their life. They get burnt out. There's peer pressure. So one thing that they need to do is when they need to do the breathing technique, and there's a separate program for schools, for youth, for universities, which gives them a daily practice, and just a few minutes of the daily practice of breath work allows them to be centered, to relax. It allows them to reduce stress, have that clarity in the mind. uh, and so because they have positivity, they have increase in confidence, they're better able to deal with the situations around them. And
Beautiful.
even when there is, I mean, people have violent tendencies, there's aggression in schools, the breath work helps with those tendencies as well. These are all evidence based practices. There's a lot of research out there. I'll just give you one example. Like one of the schools in New Jersey had reported, uh, after doing the program for
Mhm.
youth, there was 90% reduction in violence, 60% reduction in just destructive behavior. So there are the effect is huge, and I would highly encourage our youth to practice breath work every day to manage their mind and their life better.
Wow, that is so great. So parents and youth or young adults, those who are in school, you're coming against, you got finals, you have, research papers, you have all this stress is piling up on you. You have all these, 15, sometimes 17 credit hours that you're taking in the semester. But add breathing techniques to it in order to keep your mind clear, to help you cope with some of these. We always say, we use the word work-life balance. Is there such a thing? But the whole thing of it is that what we have to do is learn how to use resources and coping mechanisms in order to help us stay centered, stay focused, and to stay balanced. So these are great, great, great techniques to put in place. Again, I'm going to encourage you, always schedule some time for yourself on your calendar, if nothing but 15 minutes a day, so that you can have that meditation time. If you can do it first thing in the morning, that's great. But if you can't, you might have to do it at midday. But find the time to take that meditation and breathe. When someone comes to me and they all like this, and I'm like, hold up, stop, stop, stop. Breathe. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. So even if we don't know all the proper techniques, that is a technique in itself. To take a deep breath, fill your diaphragm up. I would say hold it 5 seconds and then release slowly until you empty all of that air out. And it automatically starts calming the body down. So I love the fact that you just gave us a demonstration on how to do it and do it properly. But the fact is that we must do it.
Yes, and there are ways, and that's why there are these programs created so people learn it in a structured manner. They get take-home practices. There are groups that do follow-ups together so they can stick to their practice. The founder of Art of Living Foundation, Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, he's a world-renowned humanitarian, peace leader, spiritual leader. He says that we need coach for everything, for music, for soccer, for piano, for everything. We need a coach. Then for such an important thing like breath work and meditation for our life strategy, it would be a good idea to have a coach and learn it right.
I agree with that. And that's one of the reasons why I do the career coaching and performance coaching, is because it's so beautiful when a person has already identified the proper career path that matches their already abilities and strengths. So just imagine that they have that, as well as knowing how to breathe properly, to stay focused, to stay centered, to stay balanced, and then to stay calm with clarity. In life, that's what we all need. We need that clarity so we can continue to move forward. Well, I tell you what, Pretty, this has been a pretty informative session. Thank you so much for it. I know we're running out of time. We have another guest that's going to be coming on shortly, and we're going to be talking about a mother and daughter, and it's going to lead us into the importance of youth breathing correctly. And so this is a perfect segue into our next guest that's coming on. But Pretty, so we have your contact information running across the banner. Is there anything else that you'd like to say about the contact information? I know there was a form initially that you had, that's how they are to get in touch with you, is through that form, complete that form, and then they can reach you, or do they just go to your website that we have on the banner? What's the best way?
They can email me, which is preeti.manmode@artofliving.org. They can check out the different programs at the www.artofliving.org. If they would like for us to get in touch with anyone, or if they are interested in a specific topic for breath work or meditation, they can fill out the form and one of us will get in touch with them. And I have also put in a link for the World Culture Festival, which is a celebration for diversity, where there will be world leaders coming in with their cultural teams. It will be the largest celebration in the United States ever. It'll be held at the National Mall in Washington, D.C. From September 29th to October 1st. And that's the link for that, http://worldculturefestival.org.
Okay.
So, and everyone is welcome to come there.
Well, listen, you've heard it. You've heard it. You've been invited. Now you've gotten the techniques on how to breathe properly. So I want you all to take this information. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Share it with other people that you know on what you have learned today. That's why we say transforming generations and leaving legacies. The best way to leave a legacy is to share your knowledge, your skills, and your abilities. And so we're going to end this part of the show, and we're going to come back with our second guest that's coming on shortly, but we're going to take a mini break. So, Pretty, thank you so much for being here with me today. I love the fact that you gave us these techniques, and we'll also make sure we list your contact information on the Facebook page.
Thank you, Maxine, for having me here. It was my honor to share this information with everyone.
We appreciate you and be talking with you soon. All right. I am Maxine Phillips, Chief Learning Officer of LevelLess, a learning-based coaching company that partners with parents to empower teens to create a strategy for succeeding in life. Are you overwhelmed or feel stuck when your teen is undecided about selecting a career path? Our college and career program provides assessments, individualized coaching, and workshops to help teens identify their unique purpose and select a profession that complements their strengths. Call us. Well, did you take those notes? Did you write the strategies down? And we're going to stop the banner from running across the screen right now as we bring our next guest up. We have with us, is coming up, we have, I tell you what, a mother and daughter team. So let's go on and bring them on the screen. Let's go on and bring them up.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So glad to have you, Anya.
Yes.
And we have Sharika. There you are. Hello.
Thank you for having us.
No, glad you were able to be here. So we just talked about breathing, and this is a perfect segue because we talked about how it brings us, to center us and bring us into the presence. And we also talked about the importance of how it affects the youth. So before we get into the strategies of that and how you think breathing is going to help you, so why don't you just tell us exactly who you are, what you're doing? I know she's running for city councilwoman for the city of Cary, North Carolina. Hello. Let's give her a big hand clap for that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then you can introduce your daughter. How about that?
That's perfect. So thank you so much, Maxine, for having me on the radio. And thank you for this opportunity to connect with so many people who are listening today. And I'm a mom. Ta-da! I have a 14-year-old, and I'm a wife, happily married to my husband, Naresh Lanani.